On the news, many feared death in suspected cult clash in Anambra State. Court serves INEC chairman Mahmood Yakubu with contempt charge. And APC secretary says 2027 running mate for Tinubu will be decided after party national convention. We're glad to have you join News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Joy Uchejim. Now, gunfire broke out late on Thursday night in Noko community, Orumba North local government area of Anambra State, southeast Nigeria, leaving people dead and others injured in what police have described as a cult-related clash. The incident, which occurred near Federal Polytechnic Oko, sparked panic across the community, with residents fleeing to safety. According to reports, about 4 people were killed instantly and around 7 others injured, though the police gave a lower casualty figure of 2. The state's police public relations officer, Tochukwu Ikenga, who disclosed this in a statement in Oka on Friday, said 2 victims, including a lady who is currently receiving treatment in a hospital, were rescued at the scene of the cult clash in Anambra. And the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has reaffirmed his suggestion that the Nigerian government pursue the proposed idea of erecting a border fence to prevent easy access for bandits from crisis-hit neighboring countries and to curb border porosity. Speaking at a media meeting held at the DHQ in Abuja, General Musa hinted that those thinking that building a border fence will be too expensive should consider the consequences of running a porous border, given the rise of insecurity in Benue and other states. He added that the present insecurity and war in the Sahel states comprising Sudan, Central African Republic, and Libya pose serious dangers to Nigeria as terrorists, bandits, and arms dealers plan to use Nigeria as a dwelling point because they believe the country is rich with immense resources.
The national ID card. Do we know how many Nigerians we have? Do you know who is a Nigerian? Your border is open. If any arrest is, can you do a thumbprint and identify who the person is? But if we go abroad, why do you think it's easier for them to arrest somebody when a crime is committed? Every individual has a number. Your thumbprint, your picture, your address, everything is there. So it's easier for us to trace who you are. But now we have multiplication of I. You have the NIN, you have the BNI, you have the what and what, all not linked together. So my advice, let's do a comprehensive census. With technology, we can do census that can capture every Nigerian in the world that is alive. If you go to outside advanced countries, they can tell you this community X, there are 5,000 people. And that 5,000 is what, because they know. If somebody dies, they know. If somebody is, if there's birth, is known. Everything is captured. It's planning, and it checkmates insecurity. It's just like issue of toll gates. You know, there are some of the things we're looking for comfort. We jettison these things, and these things are all the things coming to play on us. Toll gates are also control measures. If something is tolling, somebody is identified. Passing through a toll gate, you will be identified. So you see, those are it is. These are measures that we need to look at as a nation. As we are looking at our border management, we build up a database so that every Nigerian, anything you do, they just tell you, give me your number. When they key in, they know who you are, they know everything about you, which hospital you are born, which school you went to. Nothing is hidden. Those are the things that I think we need to also to follow up.
And in Borno State, the police command says it has made significant strides in its ongoing efforts to combat crime, with the arrest of several suspects involved in various criminal activities, including vandalism, theft, and drug abuse. The State Commissioner of Police, Nasiru Abdulmajid, disclosed this during a press briefing held at the command headquarters in Maiduguri. The commissioner says 210 suspects were apprehended for various offenses. 86 of them have been convicted, while investigations continue for the remaining 124 individuals. The police commissioner also issued a stern warning to residents, urging them to shun all forms of criminality and drug-related offenses that could ruin their future and tarnish their image.
In line with that commitment, the command under my leadership has carried out a series of intelligence-led operations, including raids, stop and search exercise, surveillance, and coordinated enforcement activities. From 11 June 2025 to 18 June 2025, the following breakthroughs were recorded. A total number of 210 suspects were arrested. Out of these, 86 were convicted, while 124 are currently under investigation. Exhibits recovered from these suspects are included, not limited to, 58 sachets of tramadol tablet, 175 pieces of Exol tablet, 130 D5 tablets, 395 roughs, and 1 kilogram of dried leaves suspected to be Indian hemp were also recovered from these suspects. 9 knives, 19 shisha pots and pipes, 2 customized antelope horns, 28 tablets of Ermo, hard drug, 10 bottles of syrups. These significant achievements were made possible through the dedication and hard work of Command's Rapid Response Squad Anti-Vice Unit, Anti-Social Vice Unit.
And thus 542 personnel of the Nigerian Armed Forces transitioned to civilian life. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, have urged them to maintain discipline, ethical conduct, and a commitment to national development. Oluyede, who was represented by the Commander of Training and Doctrine Command, Major General Kelvin Aligbe, gave the charge at the passing out ceremony of Nigerian Armed Forces Resettlement Center, NAFRIC Course 1 2025 in Lagos State. The Army boss commended the retirees on their 35-year journey, which embodied the finest military traditions of resilience and patriotism, urging them to uphold these values and become pillars in their various communities. In his submission, Commandant of NAFRIC, Air Vice Marshal Bashir Maman, revealed that the center had trained over 53,000 personnel since its inception, including members of paramilitary and allied forces.
I believe that the training here has exposed you to several vocational opportunities, entrepreneurship procedures, and general management skills to assist you avoid these pitfalls in order to have a stress-free and meaningful life in retirement. On this wise, I enjoin you to employ the experience and skills you have acquired for a productive economic life as you reintegrate into the society. Let this graduation be a reminder that retirement is not the end of service, but the beginning of a new chapter. One filled with potentials, peace, and promise. Continue to inspire, continue to lead, and never forget you are and will always remain true heroes of our land.
Let me once again congratulate the disengaging participants on this occasion of your graduation. You agreed with me that unlike other courses you attended while in service, this one was specifically geared towards your personal self-development to aid you in transiting to civil life. As you graduate today, you are transforming from active military duty to the Honorable Legion of Veterans, who continue to make positive contributions to the unity, peace, and progress of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I urge you to make yourselves available and join the Legion chapters wherever you decide to settle.
And the Federal High Court in Abuja has served the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Yakubu Mahmood, with a copy of the contempt proceeding that was initiated against him by the National Rescue Mission. A bailiff of the court, Ayuba Sule, served the Form 48 at the national headquarters of the electoral body in Abuja, in line with a ruling that Justice Obiora Egwatu delivered on June 17th. The court had ordered that the processes should be served on the INEC chairman through substituted means. Meanwhile, the NRM, in a statement that was signed by its National Publicity Secretary, Anselm Nebefe, disclosed that though officials at the INEC headquarters declined to accept the service, the bailiff dropped it at the legal department of the commission. And now to politics. The National Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Ajibola Bashiru, says President Bola Tinubu enjoys an overwhelming endorsement from party stakeholders to run for the re-election in 2027. But discussions for the choice of his running mate are not on the table yet. Bashiru, a former Senate spokesman, disclosed during a televised interview that Tinubu's running mate will be decided after the party's convention, which is usually held about 1 year before the general election. On June 15, 2025, a summit for APC stakeholders from Nigeria's northeast geopolitical zone became rowdy in Gombe State after APC Northeast Vice Chairman Mustafa Salihu named Tinubu as the party's sole candidate for re-election without mentioning Vice President Kashim Shettima. The omission triggered protests from some members who insisted that the vice president be included in the endorsement. And President Bola Tinubu has praised Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani for the state's significant developmental strides, describing the progress as impressive and deserving of federal backing. The president gave the commendation during a working visit to the state, where he inaugurated major infrastructure projects and launched new initiatives aimed at advancing healthcare, transportation, and skills development in the state. TV360's Victoria Konde has the report.
President Bola Tinubu received a warm reception as he arrived in Kaduna for the high-level visit aimed at evaluating ongoing development initiatives and commissioning key projects spearheaded by Governor Uba Sani. During the visit, the president inaugurated several landmark projects, including the Institute of Vocational Training and Skills Development in Riga Chikun, a newly constructed 300-bed Bola Ahmed Tinubu Specialist Hospital in Millennium City, and a fleet of 100 compressed natural gas-powered mass transit buses designed to enhance public transportation in the state. The commissioning of the specialist hospital, named in honor of President Tinubu, represents a major advancement in healthcare delivery in Kaduna State.
Today, I've seen an example of people-oriented commitment, development agenda, and far-sightedness in the governor, who had established not only critical center to train and develop the mind of our youth, leaving schools, as well as providing them with skill and opportunity to excel.
In a moment of tribute during this visit, President Tinubu honored retired Colonel Umar Dangiwa with the prestigious CFR title, citing his critical role in the June 12 struggle for democracy. He also lauded Senator Shehu Sani for his ongoing dedication to advancing democratic ideals in the country.
Let me use this opportunity to correct an omission. Some of those people that I missed out during the June 12 broadcast in the National Assembly is Colonel Dangiwa. Today, let me correct that by honoring him with national recognition of CFR. And I thank Sheikh Sonny, who is also a comrade, for all you've done for democracy in this country. May God bless you. Where you deserve the CON.
In his remarks, Governor Uba Sani highlighted additional accomplishments of his administration, emphasizing that Kaduna State has become a model of unity in diversity.
With the 100 CNG buses that you are about to commission, our administration shall immediately crash the cost of permitting within Kaduna by generously subsidizing the fares on the buses for all residents of our state. However, our workers, retirees, and students will use the buses free of charge for the first 6 months, Mr. President.
Today, we celebrate the fulfillment of a vision that began in 2009 and now stand ready to serve our people. 16 years ago, as governor of Kaduna State, I confronted a painful reality. We had fewer than 3,000 beds, hospital beds, for more than 6 million people.
Tinubu expressed federal backing for Kaduna's proposed light rail project and unveiled plans to introduce a national strategy focused on expanding skills acquisition and strengthening food security across Nigeria. It further acknowledged the state's inclusive development efforts, reaffirming the federal government's commitment to supporting Kaduna State in delivering democratic dividends to the people. Victoria Akonde, TV362 News, Lagos.
We'll go on a short break here, but still to come, the United Kingdom maintains 99% duty-free access for Nigerian exporters. Details of this story after this break.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
When you go into public office, you must be ready to answer to the people.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On Digi360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians are saying in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
Digi360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. As a recap of our top stories. Gunfire broke out late Thursday night in Oko community, Orumba North Local Government area of Anambra State, southeast Nigeria, leaving people dead and others injured in what police have described as a cult-related clash. We also informed you that the National Secretary of the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, Ajibola Bashiru, says President Bola Tinubu enjoys an overwhelming endorsement from party stakeholders to run for re-election in 2027, but discussions for the choice of his running mate are not on the table yet. Bashiru, a former Senate spokesman, disclosed during a televised interview that Tinubu's running mate will be decided after the party's convention, which is usually held about 1 year before the general election. And in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on X, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. A switch now to business news, and Victoria Konde is on standby. Victoria, what's the latest?
Thank you very much, Joy. Welcome to Business News. Now, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, is adopting a new approach to tax administration aimed at fostering voluntary compliance and leveraging technology to promote a culture of transparency and predictability in Nigeria's tax system. According to a statement by Special Advisor on Communications and Advocacy to the Executive Chairman of the FIRS, Collins Omokwaro, the agency is moving away from the audit-driven enforcement model towards a system that encourages doing the right thing by design rather than by force. Under the leadership of Executive Chairman Zach Adedeji, the FIRS, he said, is reshaping its operational focus. The agency's new strategy de-emphasizes punitive audits in favor of strategic interventions that guide taxpayers towards compliance through automation, digital foresight, and standardized procedures. Still on business, the United Kingdom has said Nigeria will continue to enjoy duty-free access on 99% of total goods exported to the UK market under Developing Countries Trading Scheme. This was disclosed in a statement from the British High Commission Communications Office on Friday. The DCTS, launched in June 2023, allows Nigeria and 36 other African countries to export over 3,000 products duty-free or at reduced tariffs to the UK, thus supporting Nigerian businesses to grow and become more competitive globally. The UK scheme also lowers import costs for UK businesses and offers consumers a wider range of affordable products. Right now, we'll go on a short break and be back with stock market updates. Welcome back. It's the final trading day of the week, and the Nigerian equities market closed in positive territory, posting a 0.24% gain. The market capitalization now stands at 74.5 trillion naira. A total of 120 listed equities participated in today's session on the Nigerian exchange, with 36 gainers and 27 losers. Legend Internet led the gainers chart, appreciating by 10% to close at 7 naira 72 kobo per share, and was followed by Ella Lakes. At the close of Friday's trading, investors exchanged over 522 million shares in 17,706 deals, with a market value exceeding 19 billion naira. Now, when this is compared to Thursday's session, this represents a 42% drop in volume, an 11% decline in turnover, but a 3% increase in number of deals. Now over to the global market. Wall Street's major indexes were mixed in volatile trading on Friday. Concerns over inflation and uncertainty about U.S. involvement in the Iran-Israel conflict offset optimism after President Donald Trump held off on any immediate action. Meanwhile, two of our selected international indices, the UK's FTSE and Japan's Nikkei, closed in negative territory. However, the US Dow Jones bucked the trend, ending in the day in the green. In the foreign exchange market, the Naira traded at 1,620 naira on the black market to the US dollar, and at 2,050 naira to the pound sterling, and at 1,720 naira to the euro on the black market. That's it from business and stock market reports. Back to you, Joy, for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Victoria. And now on the foreign scene, at least 12 miners have tragically lost their lives following the collapse of an artisanal coltan mine in North Kivu Province, Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, officials confirmed on Friday. The incident occurred on Thursday near the town of Rubaya, though the exact cause of the collapse remains under investigation. Dozens of miners reportedly escaped the disaster by a narrow margin, according to local civil society sources and mining insiders. Rescue teams are still working under perilous and unstable conditions, hampering efforts to reach any survivors. And still on the foreign scene, as the world marks World Refugee Day on June 20th, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres is calling for renewed global solidarity with the millions forced to flee their homes due to war, persecution, and disaster. In a message, the UN chief decried rising xenophobia, diminishing support, and the unequal burden on developing countries hosting displaced populations. He urged the international community to move beyond words and take concrete action by upholding asylum rights, expanding resettlement, and investing in refugees' future through education, jobs, and equal rights.
Today, we recognize the millions of refugees forced to flee war, persecution, and disaster. Every individual carries a story of profound loss, of a family uprooted and the future upended. Many face closed doors and the rising tide of xenophobia. From Sudan to Ukraine, from Haiti to Myanmar, a record number of people are on the run for their lives while support is dwindling. And those communities, often in developing countries, are shouldering the greatest burden. This is unfair and unsustainable. But even as the world falls short, refugees continue to show extraordinary courage, resilience, and determination. And when given the chance, they contribute meaningfully, strengthening economies, enriching cultures, and deepening social bonds. On this World Refugee Day, solidarity must go beyond words. Solidarity must mean boosting humanitarian and development support, expanding protection and durable solutions such as resettlement, and upholding the right to seek asylum, a pillar of international law. It must also mean listening to refugees and ensuring they have a voice in shaping their futures. And it must mean investing in long-term integration through education, decent work, and equal rights. Becoming a refugee is never a choice, but how we respond is. So let us choose solidarity, let us choose courage, let us choose humanity.
And finally on sports, Super Falcons star striker Asisat Oshoala and experienced defender Ashley Plumpton are part of the list of players named by coach Justin Madugu for the 2024 Women's African Cup of Nations. The list, released on Friday, also has captain Rashida Tajibode with 11 players set to make their debuts at the tournament, which will take place in Morocco from July 5th to 26, 2025. 3 players from the local league are also included in the team and will be hoping to make their mark and repay the coach's confidence in them. And that wraps up our bulletin on News Now. Many thanks for joining us. I am Joy Uchejim. See you next time.